bulk of Williamson County, northern sections of Murray County, and then there's Rutherford County as well. And so we'll just extrapolate where this potential tornado might go in time. You see Smyrna on the right side of your screen there, and we'll jog it back 15 minutes. And then you can see it looks like it's headed right towards Smyrna with that trajectory. It's this southwest flank here, that little hook that we're watching for potentially, again, a tornado in time. So right over Arrington, the hail likely staying north of Arrington. It's a storm that's riding right up the front, right up that outflow boundary that we showed you before. That's the borderline between a fall-like feeling day in southern Kentucky and northern Middle Tennessee and a summer-like feeling day in southern parts of the mid-state. The battle zone along that boundary is causing the chance for rotation because there's a big wind shift along that, and then very powerful storms. Again, a big hailer and has a history of maybe tennis ball size hail, at least 2-inch diameter hail as it moved along, and now it's moving toward northern Rutherford County. But right now it's in central Williamson County, southern parts of Williamson County. We have that tornado warning there and severe thunderstorm warning encompassing that. Some other storms developing, more flash flooding going on. So the Weather Service is replacing the flash flood warnings that are about to expire in some cases and giving them longer expiration times. We showed you the rain totals for the last 24 hours a short time ago. In some spots are more than 6 inches already. That was just day one. This is obviously day two. Thankfully, there's not much expected tomorrow, day three, and then Saturday late, Saturday evening, Saturday night, a round of very heavy rain and severe weather comes back on through, and that will be day four. The potential for more severe weather very likely as we head into Saturday night and then moving out early Sunday. Total rainfall for the last 24 hours, 4, 5, 6 inches, very common. Most of us got at least 3. And then you can see this is the zone where a lot of storms had trouble getting south of, and then down toward Murfreesboro, McMinnville, Cookeville, Crossville, Manchester, Lynchburg, Fayetteville, and Winchester. There was essentially nothing. And just as we forecast, this area stayed dry, and this area is where the rain fell. Now, what's going to happen is the storms are hanging along here right now on this battle zone. You see all the lightning. And later on tonight, this front is going to push back toward the north. And so that means more rain and more heavy downpours, and the chance for even stronger storms gets back up to Clarksville, gets back up to Dover and Paris. Right now, as I've mentioned already about 15 minutes ago, any storms in northern Middle Tennessee, I'm not really concerned about being severe right now, or if they're severe, it's because of marginally sized hail. You know, there's a lot of just mediocre downpours, some flashes of lightning, maybe some pea-sized hail with these. It's the ones hanging along the front that have the best chance of being really nasty. And again, that front will push farther north tonight, bringing that severe threat into southern Kentucky in time. Look at all these other clusters of storms, and the most intense ones are hanging along that front. And that's the setup that we see. So southeastern Middle Tennessee, nothing going on right now. I don't expect much of anything really for the rest of tonight. I think you're going to get a big goose egg where you got one last night, but it's all the action's going to be here, camped out here for a while, and then eventually this evening pushing back toward the north. And that's going to give us a mostly dry Friday as this all lifts to the north. You know, I debated, should I go 20% rain chance for tomorrow? And I said, nah, I'll play it safe and I'll go 30%. You know, that means we're going to have a mostly dry area, mostly dry day on Friday, and we need that break. Lisa's pinpointing in that tornado warning the most dangerous part of the cell. We have a potential tornado at Thompson Station right now, right around 840, right over 840. And I think we do have some 840 cameras. I don't know if they're in Thompson Station. Where are we looking here? 840. All right. Terrific at Lewisburg Pike. So I wonder if that's right here. I wonder if that camera's right here. And so TDOT runs that thing. You see TDOT Smartway. Wow, look at that wall cloud. That lowering, the wall cloud is a big lowering at the base of a storm. and it's beneath the overall base of the storm because there's rapidly rising air feeding into the base of that storm, and it's just causing condensation and just a better looking wall cloud. There could be a shelf cloud as well, leaning out. It's tough to see. It looks like that may be just a big old shelf cloud, so there could be some collapsing winds with that as well. But it's right around, if I remember right, here's 840. This, one of these two is Lewisburg Pike. I don't know. I think it's this one farther closer to the interstate.
Let's dive down and take a look. See if we get
431. Is that Lewisburg Pike? Yes, it is. Okay, so there you go. And so we're looking at that storm. We're probably looking, up and this way. It's just tough to tell if that's right down 840. Either way, it's a spectacular view at the underside of the storm. Lots of warm inflow air. The circulation's really hard to pick out because we're not seeing the inflows as strong as the outflows, but we do see a definite hook. And there's a tremendous amount of people who live down around Thompson Station at Spring Hill. And so you got to stay in your safe spot. We'll let you know when you have the all clear. And don't forget, you had the big screen TV in the den, the living room, wherever you were watching the bonus room. When you go to your safe spot, take us with you and take the smartphone, take the iPad, whatever you have, and you can get us on WSMV.com and or the WSMV4 app. Make sure you have a charging device there waiting for you because it's going to burn through some battery. So there's Thompson Station. We have some downtown Franklin cameras. How are the cameras looking in downtown? I'm curious about that to see if we see any hail. We definitely see when we pull that up. We'll definitely see some super heavy downpours. That's going to move up toward Cool Springs. Again, Ladd Park's on the southern extent of that potential hail core. Lisa's doing a fresh storm track. McKay's Mill, that's a very populous neighborhood. And around Avalon, a lot of people live in that general area, just east of the interstate. So you're right smack dab in this tornado warning, and you need to be in your safe spot as well. Hopefully your car is protected. A bunch of homes there have garages. And then moving up toward Nolensville, there's Arrington. Arrington's in a better position, unfortunately, to get a tornado if we're going to get one. Ladd Park would be close to you, but more likely Arrington, Triune. So again, just hugging 840, but here we go with the time. McKay's Mill 407, Avalon 408. Current time is 3:56. Then we get toward Triune around 4:15 where that castle is on 840. And then we have 414 Sunset Elementary School. We're getting up to the Nolensville area 415. Nolensville High School, Owl Creek. And that's just a little area around Nolensville. I guess it's a Owl Creek Park they have on Concord Road. And Almaville. Almaville is a little farther along there, east and north. It's actually right down here, east and south. So not far from Arrington, just a little farther east. So well-defined hook, well-defined, inflow into this thing. And it's right along or in the ballpark of 840 in Lewisburg Pike. If there's a tornado, it would be crossing where we had that live camera moments ago in just a second or two. And then getting on toward Lampkin Bridge Estates and Paytonsville as well. Things are starting to brighten up. Tough to tell if we have, a little more lowering there, a little more wall cloud coming into view there. But we definitely see some sunlight to the west. And so my guess is we're looking due west here as the storm looks like it's coming over our heads. So if we're looking west, things are brightening behind that storm, and it's about to move on by. Again, hail threat farther north. It looks like it dumped a tremendous amount of hail because these things cycle in hail, and so all the black shaded areas just vanished. I mean, there's still some pink there, and that hail didn't evaporate. It just didn't go away. It fell to the ground, and so it's not in the storm anymore, but it was there just a moment ago.
Oops.
Total rainfall, 3-4 inches of rain. There's been a tremendous amount of flooding, grassland areas, some low-lying areas. The Little Harpeth looked very, very high as I drove by today. There's Ladd Park. Could be 1.5-inch hail in your neighborhood or right nearby. And you can see that could be hail with any of this around Franklin, south side of Franklin. There's Arrington. So again, Nolensville, Smyrna. We talked about Smyrna being in the crosshairs of this a short time ago, and it looks like Smyrna, you'll get that in time. Western Williamson improving. So back toward Boston, we talked about Leapers Fork and Boston. Can we give those folks the all clear? Yes, in Leapers Fork, because the tornado warning was just a little farther south of you. But if we zoom on down here, some of these, unincorporated or these just little tiny communities, I wonder what we'll see west of Franklin, just to say, hey, you can come out of your safe spot. There's Boston. Boston's in the clear. Traceview, you weren't in the tornado warning, but you're good to go. The storm, you're seeing daylight. You're seeing sunshine. Burwood as well. Thompson Station, just a couple of moments. It's just on the east side of you. There's Cali, Green Valley Estates, so it's moving away. But she's encircling those spots that have the all clear. Bear Creek Road. And so the menacing part of this storm is now east of you.
Over in Thompson Station, things are looking better there too, Dan.
Improving, yeah. Thompson Station, so right along 840 and the south of there. Cameron Farms looking better, starting to move away. Again, this is a snapshot, and so it's a little farther east of here, crossing I-65, and then getting into the, Ladd Park is getting into the downpours. We had so many storms move across Williamson County that looked just like this last night. So some of you had the tornado warning, you got to your safe spot, and you said, I didn't even hear rain, and because it just missed you. So south of Thompson Station, you're having that right now. Or some of you had a mainly dry time, and then you got a quick burst of rain, then it moved away. That would be, something like you'll get over toward Ladd Park. Or others of you were in the heart of the storm, and it really came down and it sounded terrible for a while, and you probably got some wind-driven hail and some rain, and it's like what's moving up over Brentwood right now around Governor's Club. The weather is pretty terrible. And so if you're just joining us, we've got a very sharp front. Boundary, south of that boundary, lower 80s, feeling like summertime, super humid. And north of the front, widespread showers, some thunder showers that are not severe. They could get strong, but right now we don't see severe weather with any of these here, and I really don't expect much in the way of severe weather. But this is just going to get going the flooding. North of the boundary, we have a better chance for just repeated rounds of rain. We have that now in Hopkinsville, Clarksville, and so, just areas that don't need more wet weather. Wow, look at that impressive picture there. That's 840 Veterans Parkway. That's a little closer to Murfreesboro, and that was a phenomenal view of the storm that we're split screening. I can't tell, is that a rain shaft there? It just looks like we're looking toward the base to the left and then deeper to the right. It just looks like you might see some rain and some hail potentially. Now, and so we're looking toward that storm. So that camera must be over there, just west of Murfreesboro. And then more storms. Look at this brand new severe thunderstorm warning in McNairy County. We're not far from Selmer in here, where we had a confirmed EF3 last night. Lisa and I were working the radar just before midnight on that cell, and it had just a tremendous pocket of rotation, debris ball as well, somewhere in here, the Selmer area, west of Savannah, and it looks like more severe weather is coming on through. So that's going to get in time. Hardin County, Henderson County is going to get a piece of that. Decatur County, you'll have to watch this. Damaging wind and hail, and possibly even, again, a tornado with any of the storms in this warm air today and tonight. In the warm sector, we call it, we could have absolutely a spin-up tornado pretty quickly. There's the Tennessee River. So moving northeast at about 45, Selmer, 423 in about 20 minutes. There's Selmer. So it's moving towards Selmer, and Bethel Springs around 424.
Very similar path to last night's storms, Dan, as we were watching those.
That's right. And so the most severe storms in Middle Tennessee move in this path, west-southwest to east-northeast. That's where, a lot of our tornado tracks mirror this movement, just like this. That's the setup we have right now. And so just a phenomenal amount of severe weather reports. Nashville I-65 points west last night, but I think we'll see a few more of those get east of the interstate as we head into this evening time especially. So it's going to be similar but different this evening. We're using that Memphis radar, so this looks like it's fizzled, but it has not. It's still flashing pretty good right there. Another great picture, 840 at Lewisburg. So TDOT controlling that camera there is absolutely looking for what could be a tornado. We've seen a number of lowerings, maybe a wall cloud in some of these pictures. Could have been a shelf cloud. That's the leading edge of essentially a collapsing storm where the wind really picks up beneath that shelf cloud Really interesting shot there, 840 at Lewisburg Pike. And so again, here's Interstate 65. 840 in Lewisburg Pike is right here. So we're looking at the backside. So that storm's moving away, and it's tough to tell if that looks like it might be a wall cloud there, Lisa. I can't tell if it's scud cloud over that hill there in the distance, but we're looking now at the backside of that thing moving away.
Those tree lines do make it a little challenging. I know we had some folks send us pictures of funnel clouds last night. It was a little challenging to say if that was indeed a tornado, just because you couldn't see the bottom of that funnel.
Right, and then notice, can you tell also that the visibility really drops? Well, they've just panned away from that. Now we're seeing some sun, so we're doing a full 360 here. But it looked like we had that. There you go. Looks like you've got that precipitation shield. Okay, we've got a lot more rotation now, and that was just a little warning ring that was a little more attention getting around Arrington. You got to be in your safe spot. We said the best chance for a tornado would be at Arrington, and it's right in this area right now. Can we get some streets populated here? We'll zoom on down. There's Ladd Park. So around that area, there's Hickory Hills, Arrington itself. And then so we've got Cox Road. There's Trinity Road back and through here. Arno Road, a lot of people familiar with that who live down in Williamson County. Highway 41, this is a continuation of Nolensville Road. So that's the southern part of that. But the Trinity, Breckenridge South, again, tornado warning in effect for 10 more minutes. We'll see if this gets extended deeper into Rutherford County for a longer period of time. But there's that to Arno Road, Ladd Park. So if we sometimes say these are snapshots. This is, you don't see it moving along. It's every 60 seconds we get a picture with our live radar, and so it'll jump here soon. So it was here, and then now it's probably up and through here. So it's probably along 41. But anywhere in this area, you've got to be in your safe area. Let's go over those safe spots. Once again, Triune, coming very close to Triune here by that castle that we referenced in just a moment, then eventually getting into Rutherford County. You want to get to your lowest level interior room. Put as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible. That gives you the most number of barriers, if you will, between you and the outside, you and the elements. And just hunker down, put your helmet on. Hopefully you have a full frontal motorcycle helmet, because people in the house like to ride motorcycles. Most of us don't have those. But a bicycle helmet, a sports helmet, a football helmet is good. Do anything to protect your head from flying debris. Wrap your body in pillows and blankets. That's 840 at 65, that camera. And then, let the storm go on by. We'll let you know what happens once it's passed. So another tornado warning just issued. It looks like they'll probably extend that. Lisa's updating the track. This is headed toward Rutherford County, towards Smyrna, Nolensville, up in this area right here. It's in Nolensville. Looks like you're probably in that. But the updated timing. So Nolensville High School at 4:14, 4:20 at Stewart's Creek High School. So people in Rutherford County go there. Laverne High School, 4:23, 4:23 at Rosswood, Lancaster Christian Academy at 4:25, Smyrna High School at 4:25, and then we go down the list. There's Siegel at 4:32 in Rutherford County, Walter Hill in Bethel. This thing really honing in on Rutherford County. Notice that even gets, the new tornado warning even gets into Wilson County. So it's parts of Davidson, so Antioch, so it's just a broader storm cone, if you will. We call them a polygon. And so this big one is going to replace this one. And if we have a tornado, it's right here. And the track of that goes right down the heart of this towards Smyrna. Now, when this gets to Smyrna, there's a lot of TDOT cameras along Interstate 24. So we'll have another great opportunity to look at that thing moving along. That's probably 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes, if I remember right from the storm track. Then eventually Noreen, Alexandria, up toward Gordonsville, possibly just south of Carthage. So we'll be watching you. Baxter's a little farther east of there, so a lot to watch. Maybe it'll get into the heart of Wilson County. It looks like maybe the trajectory takes it toward Noreen and maybe into Carthage. So a long ways to go with this storm in the mid-state. It's on the southern side. There's been very little happening south of this, southern side of that boundary. And so all the air feeding this is pure, warm, Gulf humid air. And so it's the perfect fuel to keep this thing going. There's Highway 41, so Nolensville Road right there. It's going to cross that rotation right around there, just west of there, and then moving through some of the terrain. We got some pretty decent hills out here into western Rutherford County in time. Looks like we have some decent size hail in all likelihood, at least quarter size, around Sunset Elementary down into the downtown Nolensville area, or right along Nolensville Road. Notice these little pink blobs, and so that's probably good for some noteworthy hail that you can hear in the house, no question, as it comes on by. Please be in your safe spot. Nolensville, now Crockett Park and Cool Spring. Wow, look at that hail history Lisa's just turned on. So a fantastic history of hail with this storm. These have been phenomenal hailers the last 2 days. And it's just, I guess, a roofer's dream and not your dream. If you're a homeowner, you get a car parked outside. This is no good for that. East side of Franklin is the best chance of hail. That's what Lisa's identified there. And looks like the sizes may have come down a little bit. So we said maybe as large as quarters up around Nolensville. Obviously, this has moved along. So this is the threat is a little east of here around Nolensville Road. So there could be some 1/2 to 1 inch diameter hail moving through there and on its way to Smyrna, and then very gusty wind along that leading edge. We just got a new image, and so you can see right over our radar. Here's First Alert Live radar. Great view of that. A little potential pocket of hail right there north. You know, not too far from the notch there, not too far from the hook. All going over Nolensville right now. You got to be in that safe spot, Nolensville. If there's a tornado, it is right around downtown or just south of downtown, crossing Nolensville Road at this very moment. Can we get a little tighter and pull up more streets and possibly even tilt back? Looks like a little hail report, Lisa.
Yeah, I saw that pop up. Let's see. That is in Williamson County. That's very near Franklin, 1.25 inches, and I had another one from Hickman County, 1.75 inches.
1.75 inches,
pretty large.
some golf ball size hail back in Hickman County, and just a little larger than quarter size, a mile west southwest of downtown Franklin. So out on West Main, I think the Williamson County School Board has a building out there, if I remember right. In that area, they probably got some hail. Anyone who was at work will have to check out their car there on West Main as well, over toward Boston. I think that's over toward Boston. Okay, so this is what we're talking about. York Road in Nolensville. You know, this says, looks like Sanford Road, US Highway 41. That's, again, Nolensville Road. If you're up at the, I don't know, Antioch area, this is a really heavily trafficked road that goes all the way to Nashville, down through Nolensville and farther south. It is camped out right on top of you. There's McFarland Road. McFarland Road, it's raining and you might have a little hail, and it looks like some larger stuff is headed your way. Lake Road. There's Walnut Ridge. There's Haynes. This is Cox Lane. Then we have Rocky Ford into Rutherford County. It's coming your way. Clovercroft Road, Pleasant Hill Road. Have you heard of these? Split Log. This is Split Log. So we're talking about, over toward the Brentwood area, between Brentwood and Nolensville on the border. So that's our First Alert Live radar camera. And so we have the capability to spin this thing, and this could be pretty special. Some of the shots we're able to get. It looks like we're, I can't tell which direction we're looking. If we're looking due north, I think we're looking north from that. And then so we're looking into the southern part of that, hail shaft, rain core there. I think that what you're seeing there in the foreground is just like a lightning rod, so to speak, that big metal thing to try to prevent lightning from damaging the radar that's sweeping right in the middle. If there's a tornado, it is going to pass on top of the radar. It's going to pass on top of our camera any moment. And so this is going to be very interesting to see how this camera view evolves in the next few minutes. You can see the storm moving along just like this time yesterday. The wind's a mile off the ground. These low-level clouds are moving around 60 miles an hour. And so they're buzzing along at a pretty good clip. Lisa's doing a new storm track for us. And it says updated time for Nolensville High School right now, Stewart's Creek High School. And so that's west of Murfreesboro, 421. Rosswood, 423. Lancaster Christian Academy, 426. There's Smyrna High School at 426. Walter Hill at 435. Bethel in your area at 436. And Las Casas. So that's way over here, and that's over at 442. This is our Walter Hill spot. The Las Casas is, I don't know if it's right behind me. I think it's a little far.
Just right on the edge of the screen there.
There it is. Okay, so the far eastern extent of that as well. Moving along. This is Laverne. Smyrna's going to get it right overhead. How's that live camera doing? First Alert Live Radar. This thing is like essentially, again, on top of the radar. Is it showing it raining yet? So here we are. And I don't know if I just saw a rain drop. We're doing a nice pan around. And so you can see the base, and I think that's called the pedestal of the radar. So far, if it's raining, it's not too hard. So you can see where the beam shoots out of, and it goes in all directions with that radome, with that dish, and it scans the sky. WSMV-4, the only TV station in the mid-state with its own live radar, First Alert Live Radar out of Nolensville, and it gives a fantastic view of all of Nashville and the surrounding area. And today the storm is right over that radar. It's a tornado-warned storm. If you're back in Franklin, you have the all clear. This storm is gone from you. You can come out of your safe spot. Cool Springs, you as well. If you're long and west of the interstate, you have the all clear. This thing is Nolensville's problem. Laverne and Smyrna now dealing with this. But Leapers Fork, it's long gone. But there are more storms upstream we'll have to watch for you. But this is moving toward Gladeville. And it looks like, Gladeville, Noreen, Gordonsville. We talked about you before. Maybe Bellwood, maybe Carthage. That's the general area we'll have to watch. There's one storm that's gotten our attention in the area. There's another just west of us back in McNairy County around Selmer, right on top of Selmer. Last night they had an EF3. They're getting another strong to severe storm. And so this is just all a very busy time and just the beginning of what's going to be another long night on day 2 of a potential 4-day outbreak.
I mean, the only good nugget of news is we can say that tomorrow looks to be a little bit quieter during the day. We're going to see some early morning storms before we get that next round coming in on Saturday again. But wow, we've got a lot to track today, that's for sure. With our severe weather, we've got this tornado warning that is in effect until 4:30. And then we're also just keeping a close eye on all this rain that is falling, because we know this is going to just exacerbate those flooding issues that we've had already and that we're going to see. And we've got plenty, as you can see, of rain coming down. And there is our radar camera right now that is on the radar picking up on that storm. So we're looking at it, and that's a piece of equipment that's hanging off there. It looks like a broom that's worn out, but that is not the case. It's a piece of equipment off of our radar site, and we're looking there towards that storm right now, which has been moving right over our radar site. Looks like we're in the rain-free area where our camera is and where the actual radar is, and now it's looking at that storm off to the north or northeast right now as it is moving away slowly from the radar right now. It's moving off towards the northeast at about 45 miles per hour. So just about to move beyond you there if you live on 41A as it moves on towards the east. Now we're also keeping a close eye on what's happening behind us here. We've got another batch of thunderstorms. No warning here, but we have to watch these closely because some of these storms really start to grow and become stronger in a very short period of time. But we still have a severe thunderstorm warning for one of the storms that is there in West Tennessee and continuing to move towards the east, and that's that same area that got hit so hard last night over in Selmer. Unfortunately, numerous deaths from that tornado yesterday, and we see Selmer right there. Those poor folks are just trying to clean up from yesterday's devastation, and they are looking at another severe storm. Fortunately, not a tornadic storm. Now, what we did there is just switched over to the Memphis radar because it's closer here, and that helps us a bit with a better view of the storm. And you can see this severe thunderstorm warning is going to be in effect until 4:45. Includes folks there in Bethel Springs, and the storm is getting really close to Selmer right now. as it's heading on towards the northeast. And folks over in Savannah, there are a few folks that watch us there on their computers in Savannah, but if you know somebody who lives there in that Tennessee River town, make sure that they're aware that they've got another round of storms that's going to be coming in. Stantonville is also in line for that storm as it works towards the east. So again, if you've got somebody, some friends there, you want to give them a heads up. That storm will be there, I believe, about 4:23 was the estimated arrival time. Things are quieter here towards the east as we expect. Now we just switched back over to our Nashville radar view on our First Alert Live radar, which I guess we should say Nolensville because that's where that radar is located. We are, of course, watching this storm. Looks as though our tornado warning has expired or been canceled a little early, Dan. Perhaps that's what the situation was because I think it went until 4:30.
Right, 4:27 they canceled it.
Yeah, okay, so it's been canceled now, and you know, we're going to continue to watch this storm right now as it moves towards the northeast. But our producers in the control room may want to go on and continue with our newscast. You can give me a little instruction on what you want me to do. Of course, we're only a few steps away to pop back in with updates on what's going on, and if we get any additional warnings as well, we'll pass those along to you. But just to show you, we've got another round of storms coming there very close to folks who are in Dixon and now Franklin. You just dealt with that round. Looks like you got another round that will be crossing I-65 very, very shortly, and plenty of rainfall back over here into Waverly and also the Dixon area. So heads up there, Franklin, Thompson Station, and Spring Hill. Once again, this next storm is going to be coming with quite a bit of lightning as it is moving on towards the east. And then behind that, even more electrical storms. And that was a big thing we had yesterday. A lot of lightning with those storms. But good news there, all the warnings in Middle Tennessee have expired and or have been canceled early. So the good news, we're calming down a little bit as we head back over to Marius and, thanks for joining us, I'll say, here at 3:30. No, that's actually the wrong part. Right.
I'm also pointing to the, this is Spring Hill. And so
okay.
this is video as someone was coming home, someone across the street essentially, seeing a wall cloud likely, or at least some sort of lowering with that storm that just went by.
Unbelievable. All right. So appreciate the video too. And we want to remind folks, if you've got video, we don't want you to put yourself in harm's way, but if you've got video, pictures, be sure and pass those along to us.
That's right. We are back after this. Stay with us.